Hey everybody, it's Lebo with Lebo's Pinball, and we've got a 1978 Bally Star Trek project that we just got finished up, and I want to go over everything from A to Z of everything that was done on it, so let's get started. So starting out here with the whole cabinet, we basically pulled all the metal parts off here, gave them a good scrub down, polished them, brushed them really is the right term, put them back on, made sure that was solid. The coin door, not only did it get a good cleaning, and there's actually a new decal that's actually that's on there. But on the cabinet itself, there were a couple areas where some of the wooden panels had kind of come loose. They've been glued back in place, and there's extra bracing and gussets that have really strengthened it up. It's probably better than it ever was even from the factory. So the cabinet is very solid. But again, back onto the play field. So starting really from this end, moving forward, of course, we pulled everything off and have cleaned everything, polished stuff out, and gave it a really good waxing. But starting all the way down here at the end, of course, we've got new flipper bats, and the entire flipper mechanisms that's in there are all new. So that was completely redone. Moving to the slings. One of the slings was in really rough shape, so we ended up replacing both of them, and these are very hard to find. In fact, we ended up going with, there's an alternative part that works very similar. In fact, I think it's working a little bit better. The slings are hitting totally fine, really nice and solid. Moving forward, we've got brand new drop targets. All of these have got the Star Trek emblem that's on here. And speaking of targets, the stand-up targets, these have all brand new faces on them. There's 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you got your 5th one up here. While we're up here, we've got new lane guides. These red lane guides were new. And of course, you're seeing the bands that are in here, because all of the bands throughout the whole game were done from the Titan silicone bands. Plays a whole lot like a normal rubber material, but it's silicone, so it's going to last a whole lot longer. Speaking of these lanes, the light sockets that were inside here were replaced, and the bulbs that you see that are in here they're an LED. They're a warm white bullet bulb. That's what I've basically gone with for everything that's above the playfield surface and all the GI lighting, and it looks very similar to the warmth that you get from an incandescent bulb. That was kind of the look that I wanted to get from this, where I didn't really want to get too bright or too. I didn't want the color, the temperature of to be too bluish or too overly white. So it has a very nice classic look to it. I can't remember if I mentioned it yet or not, but every one of these red posts, all of them throughout the game, are brand new. The pop bumper caps, those are new as well. I guess that's about it. Yeah, I mentioned the Titan bands, which includes all of the little rubber caps here, or they're not rubber, the silicone caps that are on the top of it. The plastics are the original plastics. They were actually in great shape. They just need to be cleaned up a little bit. And as well as like all the metal parts like this here and this little rail, all these, they were all cleaned up, polished where they needed to be. And even down here through this whole shooter lane, that was cleaned up. Things like this little metal part here, that was polished out. Can't remember if I mentioned it yet, but the shooter rod, that was polished. New barrel spring, new spring here inside, and it moves nice and smooth. All right, so now we are going to move to the back box. Let me talk about the back glass. So this back glass, let me tell you, it is perfect. It looks wonderful. There's not a speck of flaking anywhere. It's a true gem. I don't know that I've seen one quite as perfect. So pretty pleased with that. Let's go ahead and take this off. We're going to set it to the side. And what you'll see here in the back, I don't know how well it comes in through the LED or through the video, but again, you've got LEDs that are in the back, and it's kind of a combination of some of them that are frosted, some of them are clear, because we just really didn't want to get any weird hot spots, but I wanted to get plenty of light to come through the back glass. All of the displays are, they're not LED displays, they're original displays. And maybe, I don't know if those are coming through the video. Sometimes they kind of flicker. They're not flickering. None of this stuff is flickering. None of the LEDs are flickering, or the displays are flickering in real life. But let's go ahead and open this up and take a look here on the back. See what all we have, and we'll kind of go through everything that was done here. So starting over here in the bottom right hand corner. So we've got the transformer, and here's the rectifier board. This is a brand new rectifier board, including all of the connectors that go to it were all rebuilt. Even the cage that goes around this transformer was scrubbed down and painted. The soundboard went through this original soundboard. The main treatment that it got were all of the capacitors, the electrolytic capacitors were replaced. There were a couple of resistors that were also replaced on it, and it's working totally fine. The solenoid driver board. This one got the two main caps that are up here. You can see that they're there. And by the way, all these, the board work that I did, I've got labels here just to kind of mark the date when they were done. But that board is doing fine. The MPU board, this is the original board. It's working great. The only thing that I did to it was the original NiCad. There's like a 3-cell NiCad battery, rechargeable battery that goes here. Well, in place of that, because they tend to leak even, took that off and didn't have any real damage, but I put in one of the Frank's battery boards where you've got a button cell that's, you can go to the grocery store and pick those up if you ever need to replace it. But it's got a little blocking diode, that way it doesn't try to recharge that like how it was trying to do on the original NiCad batteries. Down here on the light driver board, so the original one that was on here worked fine. However, it doesn't handle the LEDs very well. And so we've got an aftermarket one here that has got extra circuitry that helps to take out the flicker that's on your LEDs. So that was put in place. It's got an extra connector here that goes over here to picks up a 6-volt line off of the back box board. And that helps to give everything here solid, nice, clean LEDs. One other thing while I'm mentioning it, even the power cord was replaced on this, the line cord, because there was the ground prong was broken off of it. So that was wired in that way that whenever you're playing the game, you don't get any kind of a buzz or shock here through any of the metal parts. But I think that pretty much, oh wait, forgot one major thing. So as far as, excuse me, some of the paint treatment, this back box, the whole blue here, we got this color matched to the original blue that was on the game. So I've actually got the paint that I was able to go through and repaint this whole face here. It had some, had some notching and some wear that was in it, and now it just looks like, we just wound the clock back. It looks great. So touched that up, and also even the black paint that's down here on the pedestal underneath, that all got repainted. It's just little stuff that, when you notice it, you notice it. And so I wanted to take care of it that way. It was looking good. So let's button it up and give it a test play. All right, let's give it a go. I've got the glass pulled off the game right now, so it's going to be a little loud. But I wanted to do that just to get the glare off of it. Oh, we have tilted the game, got a little aggressive. I might have the tilt bob just sitting just a little sensitive. I might need to loosen that up some. As you can see, the game's playing quite active. I've got the angle set up pretty nice actually right now. It's set probably around 5.5 degrees or so. Nice bonus. you can see the slings. They do a nice job of the ball. You know, the different ones that I had to go with are working actually just fine. Well, I think that's a pretty, well, what? Hey, check out that bonus. All right. Well, let's go ahead and wrap it up. That gives kind of a good overview of the game. Thanks for watching and enjoy.